Say what?
So we had to do a cheer?
We had to do a cheer.
I mean,
it's just first five notes or something. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Like,
Well, do you want,
get
I feel like I also need to
you get
finish it.
asked to, oh gosh, no.
That was an OCD, like it's not finished, have to finish it moment.
That was a lot. That was a lot. That said so many things.
All these talks we've had about some things, you just stop. You just don't go there. You know. You
But
start
of
it.
all the podcast episodes, the one I can be myself is this one with you.
The one I'm worried about. Yeah,
It's
the one I'm worried about.
at
That's
the
what I'm worried
end
about.
of the year. It's the best one.
Okay. Well, I didn't say it wasn't best. It still means the one I'm
Okay.
worried about. Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey everyone. Hi, and welcome back. It's time for Say What, where we hear from those connected to the industry about what's going on in our world of electrical apprenticeship. And this always includes the topics that you suggest to us. So please keep those coming. I'm your host, Cindy Sandifer, and I am here with, I'm going to call your real names, Todd Stafford. He's our executive director here at the Electrical Training Alliance, and Greg Greiner, our managing director. It's the last episode of 2025. We're just laying back, chilling, relaxing, talking about the Oak Ridge Boys, great shows, Alpha, hey.
You got to clarify who they is, because that was between you two, not me.
Okay. There were things discussed that can't be mentioned on the podcast, but the things that we can talk about are looking back at the year. I love doing this episode. I think we've done it for a few years now. It's just a nice reflection. Again, time to kind of sit back and look at what we've accomplished, what we've learned. So I guess my first question to you all is like some highlights. What are some things that stand out to you from 2025?
The biggest thing is opportunity to me. The opportunities that's presented to our industry this year that we can see in the past 12, 18 months is tremendous. The growth opportunities we have and all the ability we have to expand who we are, how we provide our training models, what we do, and the largest, I guess, impact that I've seen on our industry ever. When you think about it, I mean, it's got that kind of potential we can have, and that's what I like, the opportunity.
The opportunities, yeah.
Yeah, I think the shift, as we've gone digital over the last, decade plus, the change that has occurred where we, resist and then at some point go accept and then, okay, how do we make it better, right? And so that happened when we first went digital, and then now we've moved to 720 and CML and those kinds of things. So like highlights for me were just how that conversation has kind of evolved now to where we're now going, okay, instead of no, it's, okay, how do we make that better? And it's kind of fun to just have experienced that shift in mindset this year. So that was kind of a big highlight. I think, all of the events we've been to have been highlights, just kind of experiencing the dialogue with all the leadership, with IBW, with NECA, with training directors and JTC committees, and kind of seeing the trust. I mean, we're having constructive talks, right? And it's not always we agree with you, but it's constructive. It feels like it's built on trust. That's kind of been a highlight for me. Is kind of just seeing the amount of trust that's out there now.
And we see that. We see that in direct relationship and conversations with our local programs. No doubt we do. And that's what allows us to have the opportunities we have now. Where we're at today is strictly because what has built in us the opportunities we have going forward. And I can say this in all honesty. We were 10 years ago today, these opportunities wouldn't be here. I mean, it's that simple.
Agreed.
That's what's here.
Agreed.
So that's the
Agreed.
opportunity
We were
have
so
because-
close to being ready for, as terrible as it is, we were so close to being ready digitally for COVID, right? And yet we didn't quite have the training model ready for, we all went to the Zoom world. And but the training model we're moving towards has made us ready for all these opportunities. And we've seen the impact of that.
Right, the large opportunity we have, but you can think of where we're at over the past year. It's accumulated in the sense that there are a multitude of opportunities to get to where we're at. And none of those would have been possible if we wouldn't have the success our local programs have by transitioning where we've asked them to do, which is great.
Yeah, and we were having a conversation about something else, but stars aligning, and it feels like just what we're seeing across the world. Forget country, right? It's across the world. The expansion of digital AI is booming, like all of these things, and I think it has collectively caused us all to be like, yeah, this is where we're heading, and like so to your point, like the jumping on, and then the trust. This year I have felt, I mean, to me, it's almost tangible. This different relationship, not agreement on everything.
Totally.
Not that, but there is just this, feels like a desire for understanding, connection, and like, okay, we got to do this together. How do we do that? Right? How do we make it as pleasant, right? And then I think relationships are also forming. So it's not just the professional. I think personally we're getting more invested in each other, and that's been really nice to see.
Yeah, it's always a benefit when that happens. It's good.
What lessons have you learned from this year?
New lessons or just the same lesson over and over? Definitely
I think, okay, wait. Yes, both.
Okay. Relationships matter, but we know that. You just touched on that matter come into play. It's no doubt that relationships play a part in getting people to trust where we're trying to go. And I got to admit, it's if you could look back 10 years ago to where we are today, people will see us then and say, no, that's not where we need to be. We don't need to see that model. Don't need to get there. But trust allowed us to get where we are. And it's going to continue to grow because the model we have is not going to quit changing. I hate to say that. Lessons learned is sometimes we talk about it, sometimes we don't. And sometimes we don't say out of fear, out of worry about rejection by the local programs, but we do that we don't want to portray what we're trying to build and where we want to go, but we have to. Even though we don't have everything ready, we have to get some warning, preparation, understanding, because the conversation takes years. Greg referred to it, the buy-in we've had. It takes time for buy-in, and I got to say, it takes 9 years in the industry to make any meaningful change. It just does.
Right.
Well, let's start the clock soon. So, I mean, that's what we talk about. That's what we got to start it sooner then if that's the case, and that's what we're trying to do is speed up the process. Not necessarily of all the tools you're going to see available for training, but we started the conversation about them. We have to.
What does it takes 30 days to make something a habit? Yeah. And I know you're saying 9 years, but the point being, like, we just have to keep going. Like, if you stop, like, it's never going to feel right.
Right.
It'll never feel comfortable. You'll never get used to it, if you will, and be even ready for that next step.
Yeah, I think, some of the things that we're working on, we've been working on for, like Todd says, 9 years or however long it's been. But the thing is where a small group was working on it at the beginning, now it's a large group working on it. That's, so the lesson is, continuously how to engage more people quicker, being a part of the, conversation, being a part of the solution, and just recognizing that communication is really, it's everything, because the greatest idea in the world or the greatest innovation, I struggle with this term innovation because
I was shocked that you used that word. I'm like, let me get a drink. Hold on.
It hit me. I know I have to, every time I say those words, I got a drink. But without implementation, none of it matters.
Right.
And I think that my personal lesson learned is to achieve an outcome. You've got probably have great intention, but how you go about it is whether or not you're going to get that outcome. And so whether it's personally, I did a 360 review and that was an overwhelming experience personally, but also a massive growth opportunity to understand and get feedback from, this is how I show up. Is that exactly what I wanted, right? Is how I'm showing up actually getting the outcome I'm looking for? Right. And kind of learning that some of the ways I was showing up wasn't getting what I was actually intending for. Sometimes what I was intending for, I got the actual opposite, and I didn't even know that it was happening until I got the feedback. So anybody who's never done one of those, I highly suggest it if you're in any leadership, have one of those because you'll find out a lot about
Try that.
Yeah,
try
but
that.
you'll find a lot about how you're showing up and
Yeah.
is it really
Yeah.
supporting you? And I think that's the same thing as an organization. How are we showing up? So lessons learned. I know Todd and I are constantly evolving how we present, how we talk in groups, what we're bringing to the table. We may be talking about the exact same thing, but in a completely remodeled way, so that to try to support the outcome that we're trying to achieve.
Right, because part of that 9 years, maybe the communication wasn't
Right, could be
correct
us.
the front end. Exactly.
That.
Right,
Our fault,
it clearly was us.
Right.
You know, so we're taking that's a lesson. We got to
It
take ownership
is.
of that.
Because, there was, I haven't been here, but I've been in the industry right around the NJTC now, Electrical Training Alliance. And it's like there was the Big Brother moment. And y'all forgive me. And also, I make no apologies for my Wicked reference or Wizard of Oz, whichever one you want to go with. But, the curtain, right? The wizard was not who everyone thought he was, and it wasn't until it was revealed. And I think that, and I said this, I feel like I said this last year, so I'm repeating. Maybe it's that a lesson learned that's worth repeating is the way you all specifically, but I think it's been everyone on our staff I'm speaking to or about, has changed the way they're approaching subjects, information, and not that it was being hidden before. That's not what I'm saying, but communication needs, changes, what we're learning about the human brain, right? Like we're learning so much more about what we need. And then to take that, I feel like you all have said, everything is legit behind the curtain, but there is no curtain. Like it's not there. Yeah. What you see is what you get. And we want to make sure you know what's going on. And I feel like you've really...
Remember who just said that? Everything's legit behind the curtain?
I know!
Yeah.
Remember who just said that?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't done my 360 review
we're
yet.
Have to have
so
some SMART goals. We're
SMART
need
goals.
To write
Okay,
those.
fine.
Somehow you're going to have to be able to measure.
This is getting boring. This sounds like work and change, and that's the lesson I've learned. But truly, talking about the Vegas Regional was the most recent event we've had, and when you put up the chart that I've seen you and Greg use, like, here's how things work. That's not meant to be a secret. Like, here's IBW, here's National NECA or International, and then you see all the lines and the way that chart, graph, whatever we want to call it, like, it really points to like, oh, okay. And again, nobody was trying to hide that, but it hadn't been communicated in such a, like, I hate to say profound and yet simple way. Right. And I feel like those things, the image of like, here's who's doing what at the ETA. We've broken some things out here. And it's like, man,
the responsibilities of the ETA as well as local programs, how that works. And that's probably part of that communication mistake we've made over the past few years by not defining our role in the industry soon enough.
And it wasn't intentional.
Right? No, I just thought it was known.
But the impact was.
Thought it was known, correct. But the question I started getting is, wait a minute, that question could not be asked if you knew this. Right. That was what I was seeing in a lot of ways. So we got to do that.
Right. That's where listening comes in. Like, wait, you're asking one person, two people, 10. Wait a minute, there's a disconnect somewhere.
Again, you're trying to achieve and support and serve an outcome, and there's great intent from leadership on down, and but if not done well, then you may not get the outcome you're looking for. And I think that's, again, that's every aspect of the organization or any one of us personally. What can we do to make sure that we're showing up the way we are hoping that we show up in order to support, because we see what, on some levels, we see what's coming, and we're trying to support that and support our leadership that's telling us, here's what you got to do that. And just trying to get better at communicating.
Yeah. And you said support a couple of times, and that I was thinking that like the serve and support of who we are, who we want to be, has always been there. But I feel like this year it went up like seveal notches. That was one thing.
That's the thing, and that's what I kind of learned personally out of my 360 was like the effort. If I just say myself, the effort I was trying to make, I don't have to change everything about where my mindset was or what my goals were, but how I was getting it there, I do have to change because that wasn't doing it. And it's kind of the same thing. ETA, where we were headed or what we're trying to achieve and accomplish and support, it's still the same thing as what it was.
Yes.
But how we show up and present and communicate and participate and listen, right? And truly listen.
Yeah. Because it's easy from this side to see and understand and know the benefits. But I think that shift in listening and looking from the other perspective is like it changes everything.
Yeah,
right?
that's a large lesson to be learned by anyone. Think about it. It's logic, step-to-step process has a place in everything we do, no doubt. But also communication, because that doesn't necessarily convince everybody. It could be as clear as day to me to read, see something, and I'm sorry, if you don't do X, then Z is going to happen. If you do Y, this is going to happen.
Yes.
unless you can communicate that, people don't see it. You got to be able to talk about it, and that's what I think we're getting better at. I do. So that is the opportunities in our industry for this past year is great, but that's enhanced because of what local programs have done, our communication tools we've grown as well. So same thing.
And care. Like I think my experience with NJTC ETA, people have always cared, passionate, invested, but I feel like it's taken this, like the care is like, oh no, that's like tip top. Like we care and we want you to know, meaning the customer, the industry, whoever it is.
The apprentice.
The apprentice.
That's who we work for.
The apprentice.
That's what,
Yes.
get down to it. That's our focus point. That's who it should be.
Is the apprentice. All right, so what are you most proud of? That the industry, the ETA, whoever you want to point out. Me. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I did that to Todd earlier and the answers weren't good, so I'd like to skip that.
Answers?
I'm kidding. They were in your head and I heard them.
Right.
I didn't utter a single word.
Well, and what I just heard is she's here for her review.
That's what I heard, right?
Oh, can y'all bleep? Do we bleep on the podcast?
We're going to need our HR forms.
Yes. I'm going to need to take a leave
And you
of
have
absence.
a pen so you can sign, right? Because there's going to be some
It also
documents for you to
erases.
sign.
I just want to point that out. So,
Okay. Repeat the question.
are you? What are you most proud of that we, meaning the industry, the ETA, individuals, groups, teams, did this year?
My view is always from the big picture point of view. So, and I like seeing the adaptation of our industry to where we need to go, the acceptance, the willing to move forward, the growth efforts being made locally where we're at. Because that's our key who we are. We have to. And acceptance, maybe one word, put it down, acceptance of local programs now. I think that's great. I'm proud of that, what we've done as an industry, and that's because of all the things we just got through talking about, the communication, the process, everything that's there. And that's what's cool about it. Big picture side, I'm very happy about that. Now, from that drill down, and Greg gets the joy of working with all the different people to make all that happen, which is great, but that's who makes it happen. I mean, I'm proud of them people too. Everybody made it happen. So
Yeah, that's the deal is looking at our own staff, the way they've stepped up, their growth, we are, there was questions earlier this year about, how do we keep focus and where does our focus come from and how are we accomplishing this? And the reality is we're accomplishing it because of the people and people are having to step into new roles and change is happening faster than it's ever happened. And as people step into those roles and what they accomplish, it's just amazing to watch. It's amazing to see.
Right?
And so it's from Todd's perspective of looking at programs and then, just again, how, selfishly I get to say how the staff's doing and stepping into things that they weren't doing before. And then they're doing it better than it was ever being done since.
You talk about a 180-degree shift from where they were at to what they're doing now.
Yeah.
And everybody just picked up. It's like there's no fault, no delay, no efforts. I'll say no effort. I don't see the effort, but it's perfect from my point of view, which is great. I like seeing it. They're doing outstanding work.
Well, it feels effortless.
Yeah,
Like
right.
from
That's
looking.
probably the big
Right,
thing
right.
is right. Is it it hasn't felt hard, which means they took it and just ran. It wasn't, oh my gosh, what else do I have to do? Right? Oh, you're going to add that to me? It's like, no, I'll take that. What else you got? And then they go make it amazing.
Right.
And
we make space for people to be honest. Like if it's like,
for
okay, I
sure.
can't. Like I think right now, plate's full. This, and I think that's a super important part of this because it's easy to be like, yes, I want to help, I want to serve, I want to support, I'm passionate, and then we overload. And I think you all have been very clear about that. The sticks, like.
Yeah, how many can you carry? You cannot carry.
Right.
You can't keep picking them up.
Exactly.
At some point, you're going to start dropping some, and let's do that before you start dropping
Yes.
some. And I think that's another thing to be proud of. How much focus has been on mental health and well-being, and making sure that that's first. Everything after that is secondary because that's first. Nothing else matters before that.
You can't have confidence without that. So you got to have confidence to do that. Step out and go somewhere new. So that's the key.
We will burn out.
Yes.
We will, start to see other things fall off. And so, again, it starts with our leadership and Todd, and that well-being and mental health are a 100% focus, and they're a priority. And it's clear. I don't think anybody would think that's probably been around our industry that would think that that's not our focus.
That's what I was saying. Like from, you go IBW, you go NECA, ETA, the JTC, like it is a nationwide top to bottom, bottom to top, like focus.
Yeah, whatever.
And,
right?
and
Just
I think
across
that's
the industry. Yeah.
That's huge. And I'm biased. I will admit my bias, but I do get the privilege of working with, I mean, I would say all of our staff, some more than others, but man, like, wow. Like you said, just, I know it's not effortless. I know it's not seamless. And yet when you see the results, you're like, what? Like Spanish. I
Right.
mean, that was unbelievable, the folks that worked on that project.
Right.
And still working on it. It's not done.
Right.
But what we accomplished, like, you want to talk about proud? And again, people on the outside may be like, oh, it seemed to take forever. And it's like.
And there have not been many things, especially the decade I've been here, I've not been a part of something that it was like, you know what, drop everything, get that done.
Yeah.
Until that moment. And that was one moment where Todd came and said, drop everything, get that done. And by goodness,
But
it
did.
was
It did.
done.
Perfect. Exactly. Perfect.
They nailed it, right? Nailed it. And it's there, it's available, it's ready, and there's more opportunity out there now. And that was an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah. And you struggled with that, the drop everything, because we had a few things that were going on that were staff related,
Right.
and you're like, I hate this decision.
Right.
And yet it's what we have to do. And,
Right.
and people just
Yeah.
jumped
I
in.
said, okay.
And
We'll make
We
it
gotta
up.
do it.
Then we have-
Yeah.
Said we got to put this down and we got to put that down, but we're going to do it. And that's what happened.
We don't ask them often to do that. You're right. One time I ever asked, and
Yeah.
okay, we won't ask again until we have to. And I
Sure.
think everybody understands that. It's not going to happen unless it's just a flat out necessity.
Yeah.
So,
And I want to, for the proud, because you mentioned mental health, well-being, we talked about the industry-wide initiative. So I want to, like, on this podcast, in this more public space, thank you all, because Tina and I have had the privilege to go around doing the suicide prevention, the Vital Cog suicide prevention, and the most consistent feedback, there's a lot, but is a thank you. Because you all said, hey, we are investing, this is going to be us. We are backing this moment. We want it to be available, accessible to everyone. We don't want people to have to come to our events to get this training. I mean, yes, that's cool, but we need it to be where they are. We need anybody that wants to have it. And the gratefulness for that. And I think that's part of the relationship building,
is.
it's all, I mean, that communicates. And so I'd want you all to know, and I've told you this, but I'm saying it here again, like, I haven't had one moment when people weren't like,
yeah.
thank the ETA for making that possible. So again, another investment, that we're making. So I'm thanking you all again for that, for making
Thank you for
it
recognizing
possible.
that, Sandy, because that was an intent that we had to show the care that we have in the industry and to take care of people. That's one of the best ways we can do it. Now, that has no beneficial effect on us, whatever. We don't sell anything out of the model. We don't make anything out of it. It's strictly a cost we put out there for our industry because it's worth the cost. Why is it worth the cost? It's about people. That's what we do.
Yes.
We invest in the people, what it is.
Right. Because you said it, right? If we're not taken care of, if we're not looking out for, if we're not getting those moments of peace, relaxation, whatever we need. I know you all don't know that. I will later define for you what peace and relaxation are. We'll talk.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
That's a therapy session that I'm
That's
not qualified to give.
Yeah, I heard.
HR president again.
Right,
HR
yeah.
president.
You need another review again? I mean, we just did this a little bit
I'm
ago.
pretty sure I am a daily, but apparently twice a day. I'm like good medicine, or let's. You know what? How about this? Let's get real challenging. How about a look into 2026? What can you share that's on the horizon for us to?
Well, you can look at the past and see where we're going. I mean, it's
you're
pretty
getting
evident.
all deep on us,
No, it is. You can see where we've been. Look, think where you were at the
Poetic.
beginning of 24 to where you were in 24, beginning of 24 to where you are today.
Yeah.
Well, the next 2 years, you're not going to see a whole lot of change.
Okay.
It's got same pace, same growth, same effort where we're at. The reason why we got a large model there, we're trying to get full adoption and use and implementation and how it works and full acceptance and teaching programs how to use the model and give them more tools for that model. We have to concentrate hard on that. We get that out of the way, then we can talk about what's next. But that's more than 2 years down the road. So
Yeah. That we.
I think Greg just had a little twitch,
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of the stuff that Electrical Training Alliance does, as Todd says, we build tools and resources, and then we try to support using them. And those tools aren't built for just like, hey, that seems like a cool thing to build. It's an answer, a solution to a problem, and not one of them is the final solution to every problem. right? They're all aspects of things that are necessary. And so wherever a program might be in their implementation, there might be more things that need to be, addressed. And there's stuff that they may not know about. So again, it comes back to what do we need to communicate? I think the fact that industry has come to IBW NECA and the Electrical Training Alliance to go, we see the problem that's out ahead of us, and it's an American problem, and we're going, we want to come to you to support solving it,
Right.
and that's not going to stop. We had the Google partnership that started this year that will continue, and we don't even know where that might end up. We continue talking with them. And there's other industry that's still continuing to come to us because there are other problems that are still needing to be addressed, not necessarily anything that we're doing wrong. It's that this stuff's going to happen. That's going to create a problem that we need to address. And there's industry coming to us. That's going to continue, which means more continuous change, more evolution, more not the way we've always done it.
Correct.
Yes.
Conversation.
Right.
That's going to continue to get smaller and smaller. Because if you're not participating, if you're not involved in the conversation, at this point, before you could be not involved in the conversation and go, look, we're doing it our own way. We're not going to be a part of that conversation and we'll survive on our own. I don't know that that's going to be an available opportunity going forward.
Right.
Because this problem's bigger than any one local, any one area. It's an entire industry. It's also, you could also speak to, it's an entire country. So participate. That's all. I think that's what's going to be the huge message is you got to be here, be constructive, be a part of the argument, so that your voice is heard.
Yes.
And that when that way you can be a part of the solution. I think that's what's 2026.
Definitely. You can see a lot of that. And that's what we had to go through in 24 to get that model started where we're at today. And just expand it.
Yeah.
Take that model and expand the opportunity even more. What's going to come up? There's no doubt about that. That the need and the growth patterns we have not been sufficient. And I keep getting a picture of my talking with kids, engineering mind. They always give me a hard time over this. You talk about the little guy sitting in the back room punching, calculator, doing equations, see where things are going to be. I said, well, that's exactly what's going to happen. You can't defeat that. That's what's going to happen. There's certain knowns about our industry that we can't change.
Right.
The knowns today what they are. But at the time you can see to affect that change, it takes a period of time when Delta comes into play, how that works. And if you want to be at point X down the road years from now, you have to do something to make that change.
Yeah.
You have to. You're not going to be there if you don't. Otherwise, if you're not there, there's different equations come into play, which you don't want to be a part of. But you have to. And it mandates if we're going to succeed, and that's what it says, we have to make changes. One of the big things you see coming in 26 and more of the same we have, we started initial work with our hands-on applications for classroom applications. But that's going to be huge. That's the next piece of where we're going. We're trying to push to get there. You saw a little bit in the past where we're at and said expand it for the next 2 years. That's what you're going to see. We have to. And that gets into the model there where we have instructions where if I were a local instructor, I'm sound like I'm jumping all over my conversation, but it's definitely relevant. If I were a local instructor and I had the opportunity to actually teach people based on the courseware that's available today and use nothing but hands-on applications to show the skill sets involved of learning what we did, I'd be in heaven. I tried to do that back when I was teaching. I couldn't do that. And that gives you the opportunity today to do that. Not only can you do that one way in one class, you can do that for every one of your students. Individualized instruction almost. We're close to that. We're not quite there yet. We're close. Right. And that's a huge part of where we're going and opportunities which our local program in Washington is going to shoot us after I say this, but we're going to ask them to make a change. In other words, the cohort mentality of our classrooms, you'll see more encouragement of us. Let's get away from that. Not everybody needs to sit and learn about DC theory when they already know it. Just find something else for them. Let them move on. Let them progress. Let them get along the way. Now, somebody may have installed transformers, at some industrial facility for 6 months as an apprentice. Okay, they're good. They probably don't need to study as much on transformers. Let us prove they know how to understand it, how to do it. It's almost like pre-test instruction, post-test. If we can pre-test out of something, we'll let them go. Why do they need to take the course? It's done.
That was the most exciting thing. Like I didn't go through the apprenticeship, but whether it be high school, college, other moments where it's like, oh, I can prove to you that I know this, so I don't have to sit through a semester or whatever of a class. Like,
right, no need.
It just, yeah.
Yeah, I think, listening to Todd talk too, relevance just kept coming into my mind. And I think it's across the board. What is going to define relevance for an apprentice, what they're going to do, what an apprentice would do today and tomorrow versus, what I did or what anybody did 5 years ago or 10 years ago it's going to be different. And to be relevant, that what they need to be doing is going to change, which then leads to instructors. What they need to be doing to continue to be relevant, they need to change, right? If they continue doing, I'm not saying what they are doing now, what they did when I was teaching, what I did, if I was doing that tomorrow, I would not be relevant. Because as technology has evolved, things change. We use different tools. If we were using the old tool, we're no longer relevant. Right. So an instructor be spending all of their time on application-based and performance evaluation is going to be how they stay relevant because the other need is just not there anymore. Technology is going to take that role over. And it just kind of goes all the way up if the way we decide to indenture apprentices. If we're going to continue to be relevant, we're going to have to evolve how that occurs. The cohort model of and the way we project. Todd was talking about, if we want to get to X, the only way to get to X is you got to start now. And we have to look out there and go, we still want to be relevant there. So then we better start doing this change now, not be reactive. Right. And reactive has been beneficial to us. It's worked. Reactive in a lot of ways has worked. It's going to stop working is the big thing. We've got big challenges coming.
The speed that the changes require you to make going to be faster.
Yeah.
Less time frames between hearing about it, understanding and adoption and implementation. That period, that's going to shrink. Yeah. It has to. And unfortunately, that means more work local programs. I know what that means. That's what it means. And I understand that. I'm not trying to sugarcoat that at all. It means more work. But at the same time, the end result is going to be better. Yeah. You think about it, because you're preparing the way for your program locally. Local training directors are to take care of their apprentices today, but also that group 10 years from now. That's what I'm worried about. Think about 2033. What's that look like?
Oh my gosh.
I know, right?
Right.
I know. Some scary future stuff coming there. We got to figure out, make sure we got our industry in position where we can adapt and be relevant.
Yeah. But we talk about this a lot, but it's like as people, things are changing all around us. Our appliances, what we have now versus what we had 10, 20, whatever years ago. And obviously we talk about phones a lot. And so it's not that we're not used to this. It's not that we don't experience it.
Yeah, but that's a good lesson in there too. That's a good lesson what you're bringing up there, because the smart thermostat has been around for 20 years. You know how 98% of them operate today? On manual mode. Okay, people turn it off the automatic switch. I put on manual. To keep doing it the way I used to do it. Right. So there's a little bit of understanding, teaching, communication there. We got to get.
But I need my control, Todd. I've got to be able to control
I control it. I can't let somebody do it for me. I know.
Mine is on a schedule. It's not manual. I just want to point that out.
Okay.
Yay! Look at me coming into the new.
So who do we get that thanks
world.
to?
Not me, but whatever. Dang, this review is really, really rough.
Just careful what you ask.
It is. It's my fault. It's communication. I'm not asking the right questions.
Doesn't sound like you're getting the outcome.
I am not getting the outcome, so I need to manipulate this entire conversation.
Yeah.
No, wait, we don't do that. Thinking Google, right? You mentioned that, Greg, and like 10 years ago, I don't know, go back 30 years, like who would have thunk? We're solving problems. We were so isolated, and not because that was our intention, but just, best kept secret. We had all this stuff, and we were so small. We were huge in our world, but to the rest of society, who were we, right? And now it's like Google.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying they're the be all end all, but my point being, who would have known
that they would invest in us, right? That they would put their risk on the line, that they would actually take the time to invest in us to go, you're the opportunity that's going to help this situation. So we're going to invest in you to help you with that, as opposed to, it is a pretty monumental leap, again, a little over a decade ago for the electrical training lines to apply for grants to support, because we've been so self-funded, and that's one of our claims to fame as our self-funding. But we apply to grants to support keeping those costs down and support initiatives. And then industry came to us and to support it. And they're not saying, we've got this thing, does your program fit the model? They're saying, hey, we see this problem. How do you think we can solve that? And they're investing in our JATCs to go, here, grow with cash, right?
Yeah.
They're just, and that's, it's hard to fathom how we've evolved and how we've changed to that. And I don't see it stopping.
Well, the electric train lines, first of all, need to pat themselves on the back because where we're at today enabled it to happen. Because we would have been where we were at 10 years ago, it wouldn't happen. There's no way they could ask the model to happen. So, and they recognize that, and Google and others recognize that model. But it's to the point to where it sounds like we're asking people to do something that's not necessary, but this is one of the reasons why we've done it. One reason why we actually could see this model, the need that's there, because this is only the beginning.
Yeah.
You haven't seen, or have I seen, where we're going to wind up on where we're at 5 years now. We don't know. We know what's possible. We can see the possibilities we want to go. We don't know where the final result's going to be, but I'm seeing it now, still all positive. It's not negative.
Right.
Because what our local programs do and what we build and develop for tools and resources and how we can adapt and move and pivot and change our model just that quick because we can. And nothing against other building trades. Love other building trades, but they can't.
Right.
So now we got these organizations coming to us saying, how do we work with these groups? How do we get this to happen? Which is what we're trying to do now as well.
Yeah.
Because it helps everybody, not just us. And try to find a way we can help all of our building trades, which I'd love to be able to do that if we can. But it's adaptability of that program is what's going to be key, and how they built the tools and resources to be able to do that. That's what's key.
And like you talk about getting to X, and obviously it's not often, ever, a straight line. You know, there's going to be different curves, and the difference in responding versus reacting.
Engineering term, the whole damn world's exponential. It's nothing linear.
See,
No.
I don't, my brain, but I understand, right? Like intellectually, I'm like, I know what you're saying, but it's like this, you know, we need to be able to pivot. We need to be able to respond and be prepared for that. And I think you're right. Like we're at a place that 10 years ago.
Well, you know, to Todd's point, you know, we built a lot of stuff that wasn't necessarily, some groups thought, we don't want that. Why are you building that? We don't want it, or we don't need it. And we built it anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's because we did it, we've got industry coming to us, talking to us about, we know what you did, and we want more of that.
Right. Yeah, and that's that foresight that we don't expect everybody to have. We're not asking everyone to calculate for X, and that we'll take care of that. Just understand that there's a method to what feels like madness sometimes.
Totally.
Right? Yeah. Well, another thing I wanted to, because we're doing a podcast, so I want to talk about Say What, something that's coming in 2026. We're going to call it Say What Shorts. And so the whole point of that
is that new attire?
So you're not going to be not
shorts. It's okay, fine. It's a reference to my height.
Okay.
And the chairs,
That's what we
because
was wondering,
often,
right.
the chair is not high enough, and the
sat on
mic.
the chair and I can look above the table.
Oh, yeah.
Above the table. I know that.
Todd sat in my chair, and it was low.
On the floor.
No, Say What Shorts are not
Okay.
that, but we are going to implement, and more to come on this, but the power of AI and utilizing voice, I always say it wrong, not voice recognition. I keep saying that, but it's like voice duplication, replication, so that
You just keep
Voice
going.
initiative.
Come up
I
with
just can't-
something.
I'm gonna
just keep coming up with
mimic.
new words.
There you go. Well, not
Fake it.
No.
I'm going to record my voice, and then AI will duplicate that. God, it's Greg. What is the word that's killing? Okay, I'll look it up later, because there's a word. But we're going to utilize that. Now I'm so done. I'm so done now. So we're going to take that, be able to
You're gonna
utilize.
replicate it, is that what you're saying?
I'm not talking to you. I'm only talking to Greg. I'm kidding. But be able to say, like, let's take some newsletters, some blog posts. Let's take some information that you all say, hey, we need to put this out in several different forms. We're back to communication. And it's also going to include the podcast. So we'll take that information that's written down, create a script, use AI voice work, and be able to put those out. They're going to be, again, short. That's where short comes in for those that have
I
jokes.
can see your voice can be on SpongeBob SquarePants. That's what
I will do. Oh, you don't know. I just don't know whether I should get permission or ask forgiveness for the voices. Like, I'm like, let's have, Arnold. I'll be back. Let's do a little of that. We can do accents. I'm down to use celebrity voices. I have few restraints, and that's part of the review, I know. But being able to utilize and really show, I think, the power of AI in action, but also be able to get a 5-10 minute moment that if someone prefers that over reading or
Well, that's
video.
the whole, in training, you think about how some people are visual and some are auditory and some are kinesthetic, and really we're all of those things. And some topics we're more one than the other. It's not like you're only one thing. But the thing is this is what that's going to allow us to do, is to be able to adapt communication to be absorbable, whatever, consumable in various ways.
Yes.
And I think that's we're another thing that we're going to be able to do with AI, and it's fun to see what we can try to support in better and better ways, and use the tools to do that. I think that's the thing that everybody says, like, AI is not coming for your job, but if you're not embracing it, it's coming for anybody that's not. And we're embracing it, right? And we need to, and so we're embracing it to try to be the most supportive that we can. So pretty excited about what we're starting to develop for next year.
Yeah. So my ask of everyone is, what voice do you want? And we are about service and support.
That was a wide open. You got to give like a multiple choice with
Okay, fine.
select one only.
Okay, stay
or rank.
tuned. Stay tuned for options. Yeah. I just, people have good ideas. Okay, fine. All right, how about this? Any final thoughts to share? Let's.
Too many to share right now. Too many to
Helium.
share
We're going to
now,
need some
right?
helium.
This is for the listeners. Oh my gosh, like Alvin and the Chipmunks. I think we need to get a sample of Todd's voice so that we have. So that we can be asked. Do you need a translator? Sorry, I had to say that because you experienced that. So that was great. That was great. Okay, final thoughts to share with anyone that's still bothering to listen at this point.
Just the excitement we have going forward. We keep talking about change if it's something to avoid, not have, but the excitement of possibilities, what we can do and build and grow. You got to embrace that. We've been saying that for years, but just embrace the change. You have to, and we have to, and not necessary. But you think about so many organizations that do not do that, embrace change, that they're not here anymore. And people say, and it's good arguments, that apprentice has been here since 1941, our model. Well, it has been. It doesn't mean he's going to be here in 2041. Because it was, don't mean it always will be. And
Exactly.
Actually, but one thing's constant in that, because apprenticeship is not how we train. It's preparing the individual for our industry. That's what apprenticeship is. We think about apprenticeship as the model we have in place, and it's not necessarily just that. It's that model plus we're still preparing somebody to succeed in the industry. Well, the tools available today is not what we had 80 years ago. It's not the same tools available. So let's use the tools we have to prepare that individual and continue to adapt and grow. And that's the one thing I hope people get about. We went over what we liked about the past year, where we're going, and all the opportunities we have. But just remember that. Understand that we're going to have opportunities available in front of us. Let's embrace that change, and we'll give you the tools to succeed. And never ask anybody to do anything. Never will. That I'm not willing to do myself ever. Won't do that. And hope they understand that. I mean, that's true. And if they need help along the way, great, because it's not that somebody can't do it, needing help. They're just overwhelmed. Right? If you're overwhelmed, talk to us. Give us a call. We got tools to help you, whether it's conversations and mental support, mentoring, coaching, whatever it takes. We have help. So we'll do that. That's what I hope everybody gets out of it.
Excellent. Greg, final thoughts?
Just participate. I can't say it enough. Participate. I think you see something happening and don't know, or just must decide immediately you don't like it. I would say find out what it is first. And if you don't know what it is, find out what it is. Find out why. And if you haven't heard why, stop and participate. Just participate. So that's probably my resolution.
Ask questions, right? And then listen, right? Ask questions.
And then at that point, disagree based on an intelligent conversation of knowing, and then we can get really constructive and we can go, how do we make it better?
Yeah.
Right? Let's have that conversation.
Yeah, don't push back because of fear. Push back because you have some reason why you don't like what we're doing. Not just because we're making a change. So,
right.
Perfect. Participate.
Right.
I think that's the key.
And I was writing down some words like opportunity. We talked about acceptance, participate, relevance, communication was everything, right? And then support. I think the idea of support, like we want to support, we need support. We're not on an island. We need help.
Yeah.
Committees, we have the opportunity to have these conversations to try to understand, not agree, but to try to understand where we're coming from. So I think that's a huge thing to do all right. So everyone, including the two of you, please promise to take care of yourselves. I think that, to me, finishing this year out, starting 2026, make a commitment. Commit to being kind. I know it sounds so like frilly, like unicorns and rainbows, but my God, like if we could do that, like think about our communications, right? When we disagree, not all caps, exclamations, but just a kindness and a seeking to understand. And so again, be kind to yourselves, be patient with yourself and others. Little not homework, because nobody wants homework, but over the next couple of weeks, my suggestion would be write down something you're grateful for, as well as someone that you're grateful for, and then think of something that you can do for someone else and do it, right? It's the action, right? Implementation. So I'm going to think of things I'm grateful for, something I'm grateful for, someone. I'm going to think of something I can do for someone.
Innovate.
Innovate. I am innovating.
If she does it,
I'm innovating.
then she's in it.
And I'm going to implement
because if it's just an idea.
Okay, but you all are
a lot of
implementing
people have
too.
ideas.
This isn't just me.
Okay.
So you're going to think of that. You're going to do it, and then lastly, whoever that person is that you thought of that you're grateful for, tell them. Don't just think like that's implementation, like right. So if you guys want to do that now, we can. No, I'm kidding. No more reviews. No more reviews.
HR?
No. Okay. So in the
What am I allowed to
spirit,
say in HR? What's it?
Yeah. We got a
I had
list.
no legit.
We didn't know we had to have a list. I mean, every policy is because of a person.
Somebody.
Somebody.
And there's
we have a lot
Got a
of
folder.
Cindy's
Big part of that folder. I know.
And we want to make sure it's CINDY because we do have another Cindy on staff. It's not her, it's me.
Yeah.
I'm the problem. Is that Taylor Swift? I'm the problem. It's me.
You don't have to tell anybody in this office which Cindy we're talking about.
I had some nice things to say, and I'm just going to, hold on, let me scratch that out of the script. Okay, fine. In the spirit of all of these good things of thankfulness and gratefulness, really want to thank those that support the podcast. Like those of you that listen, some of you very consistently give us feedback, share thoughts, encourage. It's great. And the way you support the ETA and what we experience from that, and I think it's important that you understand we appreciate you. Those of you that are doing the day-to-day, right? You're on the front lines, if you will. You're experiencing these things. You're using the tools and resources. You're having the communication. You're making us better. It's just such a privilege to serve our incredible industry, and especially for people like you, the listeners. We do this for you. We're here for you, and we just never want that to change. And want to help us keep this centered on the listener, right? Like say what you want it to be. So please share those topics. Let us know if you want to be a guest. Send an email to saywhat, SAYWATT at electricaltrainingalliance.org. I almost said .com. Don't send it to .com because I don't know who gets that. Say what at electricaltrainingalliance.org. Our next episode will be coming to you in the new year, in January. Until then, stay connected with us through newsletters, blog posts, social media, listening to the podcast. Make sure you subscribe so you know when we've got new episodes, which will include Say What shorts. Stay powered up, and we will see you next time. Happy holidays, everybody. Happy holidays to you too.
Thanks, Cindy. Happy holidays.
Yeah,
Merry
back
Christmas.
at you.
Yeah.
Happy New Year. All
All right. Thank you all so much.
Say what?